Good afternoon guys and welcome back to the Everyday Golfer. Today we are talking Callaway, we are talking the Paradigm with this mid-handicap golf. Right Dave, thank you for being here to test some more clubs, Dave.
No problem, I enjoy it as you well know. There's nothing I like, well, very few things in this life I like more than testing new clubs. Finding ones that suit me is a different matter.
Especially when he's not going to buy them, that's all he's really thinking. He can test them without buying because he's bought his irons, but last week we tested the G430s out. You saw that performed pretty well, performed exactly the same as his irons, but did come in obviously £400 more, so as a Yorkshireman, no chance. But today we're talking Paradigm, we're going to talk this. There is a Paradigm X version, as I'll put on the screen now. They are, again, a little bit more offset, which is not going to help Dave. So when you go for a fitting, if you know your shots, we know Dave's miss is left, an offset club is not going to help him. So we've gone for the standard Paradigm. I'm going to show you the differences on the screen. We're going to talk through all the information and show you actually who they are aimed at. But Dave?
So Chris, you know, when you go for a club fitting,
yes,
what sort of information should you be taking to the fitter who's sorting you out?
Again, you should be thinking about, right, what is your shot shape? What kind of flight do you want to see? So it's very important for you, Dave, you want to see it launching a little bit higher.
Yeah.
So you need to be making them aware what kind of launch you want. Again, what kind of shaft? What do you like to feel? Do you like a graphite shaft? Do you not? And then also, how do they look? Which we're going to talk about here. That is a fantastic shot, Dave.
Well,
launching higher than the 430 straight away.
Yeah, can I just say that was a particularly poor strike, but so it's on the green pin eye.
Particularly poor strike, and that is where it's gone, which is you take, and that's what we're trying to do, Dave, isn't it? With clubs, you want to get a forgiving club.
You know, you can't say wrong with that, really. That's bob on.
Looks of the club, Dave, straight away. Obviously, you know the Paradigm driver, was it maybe?
I think it's the head seems a little bit smaller than the ping.
Yep.
The top line is still fairly thick.
Yep.
I quite like the back because it's more of a sleek finish. There's no sort of bits and bobs bouncing out of it or out like that.
No, so similar to your Tacoma 101T, so a similar looking iron. That's what you, again, when you go for fitted guys, this is what you want to tell people, is what you want to look at visually. Sound-wise, Dave, obviously, how did that sound in comparison, as I get this out, how did that sound, Dave, in comparison to the
It didn't sound as clunky as the ping.
No,
it sounded, it's kind of hard to describe it, but nicer.
Yeah, it just sounded nicer here, and that, again, sound is something that you're going to decide on some golf clubs.
Even though I didn't hit it very well, you know, as you're doing your practice swings, it felt a bit better.
And it's great testing it out here because it's not always great indoors with sound. So exactly the point that Dave made there, that is pin high from a missed strike, and that's what we're looking for in irons. And Paradigm, a forgiving range, very similar to the G430. The Tacoma's also forgiving, and that's why we've gone for those and not the Apex, not the Blades. Certainly not the Blades.
No.
So, a great shot, a good miss hit, that's what we want to see. So let's talk about the numbers now and let's see what Dave found on TrackMan. Even though Dave's got away with one there, a missed strike that's gone very close, which he would take. If we look at the numbers, on average carrying 132, going the elusive 155 again, very similar to his Tacoma 101Ts and also the G430s. But if we look at dispersion, front to back, there is 25 yards difference from Dave's flush one to the one that he misstruck. So that's not something that's going to help a mid-handicap golfer. We see also right to left, not consistent, and that's not what we want to see when we're choosing an iron. That would be not something we would want. Again, Dave's likes the sound of them, likes the look of them, as we see on screen now. But if we talk performance, if we talk numbers, we also get these around about retailing £1,000, which I'll put on screen, which we know is at least £400 or £500 more than his Tacomas. They are not outperforming them, so lessons would be the answer and practice would be the answer for this gentleman here.
They're nice, Chris, but they're not that nice.
Correct. So we've got par 3 here, 145 to the flag. This should be the perfect club.
Into the wind.
A little bit into the breeze. Dave's making excuses already. He's a true handicap or an everyday golfer. There's always something.
Always. There's always an excuse, Chris, and it's never me.
Never. That's another great shot.
Not enough.
Is it not enough?
Oh, it is. I tell a lie. It's on.
It just snuck over with a nice members bounce. Not a remember, but he got that over the bunker and on. So Dave, let's now get a Tacoma. How was that struck?
It wasn't the best in the world, if I'm honest.
No, a little bit on the bottom?
Yep.
Yeah, so a little bit thin.
You know me well, Chris.
Which we saw last week. Obviously the G430 is designed, if we do hit it on the bottom, it's got that little bit more bounce to get away with the strikes and still get some more ball speed. So although Dave didn't like the look of those on screen now, he would have got away with that a little bit more. He might have got it back towards the flag. But now let's compare this with his Tacoma. So as we do see with the Paradigm clubs, it does actually tell you what handicaps it was suited for. So 4 to 12 handicap, and the Paradigm X for 12 handicap and over. So very interesting, they do put a label on what handicaps it would suit best, as you never know with each person's feel. But straight away there, the launch is twice the height. And let's see, that's just got over the bunker, and that's probably run back, as we can't see because of the bunker lip, but that's well into the middle of the green, Dave, and that was a similar strike?
Yeah, it wasn't best strike again in the world.
Yeah.
It might help if I actually cleaned some grooves after I've been playing with them. Like.
Not clean. Got the head covers, but no cleaning.
Yeah. I've got a brush.
Comment
just don't
below.
use it.
Does Dave need to have a quiet word with himself?
Quiet word, never.
Now, if we quickly talk about these two clubs, so there's a Paradigm and Paradigm X, and very interesting, they do obviously put it down to a handicap level. So we know with the Paradigm X, they are the more forgiving. They are designed for people of 12 plus, is what the Callaway have stated, and that's a very interesting point to make. So obviously what we're looking to get from those clubs are a moderate offset, a wider sole, a mid-size head shape. Again, model category, they would say that it is game improvement. We know the loft there of the 7.9 is 27.5 in comparison to the Paradigm's 29, so stronger lofts. But if you were somebody of 15 and you was somebody who actually turned the ball over a little bit, if you was to go for those clubs, then potentially they wouldn't be the correct ones for you. So I find it very interesting that they've put obviously a handicap level on there. It's all dependent on the obviously shot shape you play and what you are trying to achieve in your golf swing. So be very interested, comment below, what would you think? Would you go for the Paradigm X just because you saw it said 12 plus? As that might put you off just going for the Paradigms that might be better suited for yourselves. So we can see, did well there, did jump over the bunker, has gone to around about 35 feet. We can see there that the Tacoma did carry over this bunker, so got that extra distance. And again, it's a little bit weaker loft, so we've got a stronger loft on the Paradigm, but it's still come up a little bit shorter, launched lower. As a result, not as much carry, exactly what we saw from the numbers. So when we're talking price, this man knows his price, knows what he's willing to pay, and the Paradigms, again, are not one he's willing to do because performance-wise, not any better. So comment below, guys, what clubs do you want to see this everyday golfer try? In that bag, we've got another one we're going to try out here this evening, which is a secret club that everybody should have that you can just see past that Maverick head cover.